Here we are back in Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, and it's been a long time coming, but we have now reached the end of the game with this video. So we're going to start things off with the second day of the festival, and things will be pretty peaceful for a bit, but then the crap hits the fan. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, you'll see as people start to reveal everything. And you can see the guests pouring in. So try to remember who's who. I'll give you a hint, the girl is Charl. That's Toma's girlfriend there. And you will find out who Sharon is in this video. Now, on account of the lack of combat, I'm probably going to be popping in and out at seemingly random spots. Hopefully you guys don't mind. And I'll see you at the first one. So, first things first, I need to show you what the Medal of Dawn does, which we just got for hitting rank A0. You can see 75 to your combat stats, prevents delay, abnormal status, status down. All in all, a pretty sweet equip. Unfortunately, there's only one fight left, and I don't know if these accessories actually have an effect on the final, or the last two parts of the fights. So right here I'm looking for something for George to eat. If you remember, we were told to buy him something. And I don't remember if we were told to get a sweet or something, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. So I believe I buy crepes from Hugo, and I also buy a pie on the roof of the school. He ends up eating the pie. I don't know if he'll take the crepes or not. You can see right there, rich strawberry crepe. Since that's the higher end one, I figured I'll go ahead and buy that for George. I don't buy it just yet, but I will. Because I'm thinking, hey, end of the game, I have all the equips I can use. It's not like this money's going to do anything, it's kind of burning a hole in my pocket. And ironically, I think the crepe right there is more expensive than the pie. For some reason or another, the twins are still locked into their tea house conversations. I'm not entirely sure why. So, something like 20 minutes later, I believe I've talked to everyone there. I went ahead and tried to find every single person that I could remember, anyone who, actually had a name and stuff like that. You can see I talked to the characters that were in our group, Elisa, Laura, so on, because they actually have some special scenes there, as on account of their family visiting. And once you've had your fill, go ahead and come to George, give him his pie. And in case you're wondering, the secret of the machine is going to start coming out here, at the end of the video, of course. So I don't know if pies are palm-sized like that in Japan, but, I've never seen a person eat a pie in that shape like that. Then again, maybe that's what gives him his engineering mojo.
Oh, Reen! Is something the matter? You look awfully tired. Did something happen? Tests? During the festival? My, they certainly don't go easy on you here. Maybe you should go get some rest. You have your concert coming up this afternoon after all. I can look around on my own just fine. Though, honestly, if you're not feeling well, I'd rather take care of you. Reen. Well, if you insist. If you want to keep me company that much, I'd be happy to oblige. What should we see first, then?
So the shows are going to be starting soon, and I'm going to be going quiet for it. If you're wondering, they don't put any lyrics in for the first two songs of Class 7, but the third one actually does have official lyrics. The thing is, I don't know if that's Emma's Japanese voice actress singing it or what. I looked around, I couldn't find a translation for it, so there's going to be no subtitles here. But in the event I ever did find a translation for the song there, I will. Well, I can come back. I don't know how long I'll keep onto the raw file. So the operetta has resolved, and pretty soon we're going to take the stage, and we have to show them how it's done.
We're coming in, okay?
Here to give a little comfort to the weary soldiers fighting the good fight?
I'll let you be the judge of that.
Actually, we have a special guest who insisted on seeing you.
Coming in.
Huh?
It couldn't be.
Angelica?
Looks like I made it just in time for the main event. Kinda disappointed I missed the operetta, though. Heard Class 1 was really on fire.
Just barely.
But man, when did you get to be such a babe?
Well, a good suit and tie are more to my taste. But this was part of the deal I made with my dad to let me come. He said I could visit the festival if I agreed to meet a few prospective candidates for an arranged marriage. So, here I am, dress and all. You better get a good look now. Who knows when I'll wear something like this again.
Well, if that's your aim, you're certainly dressed for victory.
Yeah, but I think it might draw out your charm a little too well. Most normal people would take one look at you and think you're completely out of their league. You do look lovely, though.
Thanks, but honestly, I've got nothing on the rest of you fair maidens.
Angelica!
Nothing like the pure, fresh scent of a woman. All I've had to look at since going back home is my dad's grumpy old face. I'm in heaven right now.
Good grief.
Well, I suppose some things never change.
Come on, Angie.
All right, I've got my fix. Time to move on to my little ladies. So warm, so soft.
That tickles! I should have seen this coming.
Angie, don't get too carried away now.
You do know they could file a sexual harassment claim, right?
I'm looking forward to your concert. From what I hear, you've got quite the show in store for all of us. Don't go getting yourselves too wound up. Just remember what you practice, put your all into it, and I'm sure the audience will be right there along with you.
Yeah, it's your time to shine. Go on and have the time of your lives, guys.
Good luck out there.
Yeah,
right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Next, our Academy's very first Class 7 is proud to present a concert. To the end of Class 7's performance. Thank you all for coming out. What?
Ladies and gents, you've been a wonderful crowd. And we've heard your cheers loud and clear. So without further ado, I give you our third and final song. Everyone, join in!
So one of the big questions I have about the game after that scene is, why is it whenever there's a play that the characters are involved in, a member of Ouroboros shows up? In the Trails in the Sky first chapter, when it was Joshua and Estelle and Chloe at the Genius Academy, it was Blademaster Lo who showed up. And, well, I guess it is moving up because Lo was only an enforcer. This time we had an Anguisse show up. But still, do they like plays or something? Granted, both of them did have something along the lines of family involved, but it's starting to become a common theme. It's happened twice. You have to wonder if there's going to be a third time.
You mean for the concert?
What brought that on? You got so serious there, I was getting kind of scared. Damn, man. Is making people feel awkward a hobby of yours or something?
Aw, it's no big deal. Besides, it was a real team effort. Everyone played a part. I mean, look at you. You were a fountain of good advice through this whole thing. And honestly, I should be the one thanking everyone. You all helped me rediscover just how much music means to me. Because it's not just about performing by myself. It's about performing together, playing off each other's strengths to make something wonderful. So I should be the one thanking you. This never would have happened if I didn't come to this academy.
Holy hell, are you guys trying to see who can make me cringe the hardest?
Does he always have to say that stuff so loudly? Sorry, I'll see you later, okay?
Yeah. Generally, people stay in the same class from their first day to their graduation, but Class 7's basically one giant exception to everything the school's ever done, so who knows? If I manage to graduate, at least. Barring any nasty surprises, I'll be in Class 7 till the end of the month. Which means our time as classmates is almost up. Come on, it's no big deal. Trust me, you're still gonna see more than enough of me next year. Sure, I'll have moved out of the dorms, but I'll be sure to stop by once a week to steal some of Sharon's cooking. Of course not. And if I ever catch you calling me Mr. Armbrust again, I'm gonna smack you. Oh, yeah. Guess it's about time I gave you this back. The feeling's mutual. Besides, I never return the mirror that I borrow. Makes that coin extra special. So go on, take it. Oh man, what kind of racket are you running here anyway? I thought you were supposed to be a good kid. I swear, the things I do for love. All right, you'll get your stupid interest someday. Maybe.
Alphen, I am drawn to the party before us like a moth to a flame, like a starving man to a banquet, like beauty to me. What say you we grace the dancers with the gift of our company?
It's as though you read my mind.
Come now, don't waste your time watching. It's time to dance.
No need to worry about formalities tonight. Let's all relax, enjoy ourselves, and maybe let a few secrets slip.
Allow me, Sharon, before every red-blooded boy in this school lines up for a chance.
It would be my honor.
Madam Chairman, might I have this dance?
Of course. Given that our former partners left the dance all too soon, we seem to make for an appropriate pair.
I suppose you're right.
Instructor, I cannot thank you enough for all you've done for my daughter. I can, however, ask you for the pleasure of this dance.
Really? Ooh, he's just my type, too.
Hmm?
Oh, just talking to myself.
Well, I'll be dancing with all my little kittens by the end of the night. But I suppose I can let you take the first dance.
Well, I don't mind. But seeing you in that dress is enough to make any guy feel intimidated.
They waste no time, do they?
It's no surprise that my grandfather made a beeline for Sharon, but I never expected to see Mother dancing.
In some ways, it seems as though they're younger than we are.
You've given me more than enough of your time already today. Between showing me around and your incredible concert, you must be exhausted. And besides, I'm sure there's someone else you'd rather dance with here. Why not ask them instead? I knew it. So, I have a potential sister-in-law now, do I? I'm fine, really. Besides, if you spend all this time worrying about me, the music will be over by the time you ask. He's such an idiot. Oh, Elise. Your Highness? The generally accepted strategy here would be to keep his eyes on you, not push him toward another girl's tender embrace. If you were to only gather the courage to ask him, I'm certain that he would be more than accommodating. It's fine. I'm fine, honestly.
It makes sense. This festival is practically the culmination of everything we've done since the start of the year. I'm sure everyone has plenty of things they want to talk about with each other. I'm really sorry. I feel like I've done nothing but keep secrets from all of you since we first met. Of course not. But I still feel so guilty about having to do it. Even though we've spent so much time together, I feel like I'm not really one of you. That I don't belong here. Really? Reen. I'm sure that someday I'll be able to tell you the truth. So, will you be willing to hold on until then? Thank you.
I knew it. So I have... I'm fine. Besides, if you... It's fun. It wasn't too hard once I got the hang of it. And I felt at ease with you leading. It reminded me of our leader. Yep. When we're all together, it feels like we're all part of a family. Just like it did back in the Corps. But there's something about you in particular that reminds me of him. You don't look or act like him at all. But I always felt comfortable when I was with him. And that's how I feel about you, too. It's been a long time since Zephyr split up. But for the first time in a while, I wish I could see everybody again. Me too.
Reen? Elise?
Who? Is something wrong? I never would have imagined you were into that sort of thing. The sort that fills young maidens' hearts with joy and heads with dreams. Highness? Good evening, Reen. What a joy this is! Especially considering that Class 7 has no lack of fine gentlemen. Ooh, there are so many wonderful potential pairings that I hardly know where to start. Your Highness, please! Well... Oh, Reen, you're so precious. Rare is the woman who could deny herself a honeyed sip from this wellspring of fantasy. By the looks of it, you still might have a chance. Your Highness, please!
The past 2 days have been exhausting. You say that like the student council didn't have you running yourself ragged. But you're right. It all paid off. Makes me a little emotional to think back on it all. Hard to believe that the day actually came when I worked alongside nobles toward a common goal. Me. Our concert, the chess club's event. Neither of those would have been possible without students from the upper classes. I never thought I'd be able to accept something like that. Well, you have to find someone to compete with if you ever want to improve. And arrogant nobles make for semi-decent competition, I guess. Why are we even wasting our time talking about him right now? Changing the subject, I'd like to thank you. If I hadn't spent so much time with you and our other classmates, I can't imagine I'd have changed my attitude like this. I'm glad to hear I was somewhat useful. I wish Sis could have been here to see this. I really hope so. The Academy Festival is a celebration of the educational experience, something commoners and nobles alike can enjoy. We have to be sure to keep it that way next year.
Reen? Elise? Reen? Elise?
Claire?
Oh, well, it's not as though I performed on stage in front of an auditorium full of people or anything. I really enjoyed your concert, by the way. That's the kind of thing that makes me proud to be an alumni.
Sorry to jump in here, but she's an alumna. Alumni is the male plural. Alumna would be the female singular. So, unless there were additional people with her, mainly at least one guy, then that would be correct. Otherwise, she should just be an alumna. In case you're wondering, male singular is alumnus, and I don't know if there is a female plural or what. But that's something that always got pointed out to me, and something I should point out here. Bit of an oversight, Exceed. What gives?
Students and visitors, I cannot thank you enough for your attendance today. I hereby proclaim the 127th Thor's Military Academy Festival complete. But I am afraid I must announce this with a heavy heart, as we have just received word from the Imperial government that this evening, Guerrilla Fortress, which rests on the eastern border of the Empire, has been destroyed. No, destruction is an inadequate word. An unknown weapon has erased the fortress in its entirety from existence. I would ask that all of our guests, from that region or otherwise, please try to remain calm.
So one thing I need to explain real quick about the dancing scene, if you're wondering why I had 3 candidates, there was a free day, the last one I believe, where we had 5 bonding points to use. The people that you spend that day with, or the point with, those are the ones who can become candidates. So that means, yes, you can dance with Sarah. I think you can go with Toa too, but I'm not totally sure on her since she's not actually playable. But you have to have something like max link rank with them, and you had to have spent one of the bonding points that day with them. Now, since Sarah was not max rank, that's why she isn't. As for Fee, Machias, and Emma, they are, I believe. So we got to go with them. And in case you're wondering, Emma was the main one. I left the achievement there to show you that magic moment is what I'm playing from. But you can see I've got a feeling with Fee, and then equality for all with Machias. And I wanted to show one of the guys for sure, because you could see how all the dialogue changes if Reen is not exactly talking to a girl. And you can see the princess has much more fun with that than Elise. pay attention to this conversation because I need to explain something to you if you haven't played Trails in the Sky. So no modern technology could do that, but a Septarian could, and they don't really explain this much. This is pretty important from Sky. It's one of the 7 special treasures from the goddess Adios, I think her name is pronounced. But the story line between Sky is that Weissman, the Faceless, and Anguisse of Ouroboros wanted the Septarian of the space element, I believe it was, in order to further some sort of plan or something. I don't really remember what his motivations were exactly, but he wanted the Septarion, and that thing allowed all sorts of reality-bending crap, specifically revolving around space. So each one of the Septarions is supposed to involve one of the elements we actually use to attack. That means there's one for fire, one for wind, one for water, one for earth, one for time, one for mirage. If you're wondering why I'm leaving off the space one, then because that's in Liberal. That's already accounted for. So we have to wonder if the thing is really gone or not, because it would, like, if a section disappeared, you'd kind of suspect the space element first, which is not possible. I guess time could come up. We'll have to wait until Cold Steel 3 to verify that, though. So yes, Neidhart is leaving. Unfortunately, the Academy is about to go under anyway, so he doesn't really have much of a choice in the first place. But going back onto the topic of the Septarions, with a new Anguisse appearing, it's very much possible that could be the objective. The thing is, we don't really know what Ouroboros' grand plan is just yet. The Anguisse and the Enforcers vaguely reference a Grand Master, and we know next to nothing about this guy. His motivations, his objective, anything. Whether he's trying to assemble those or do something, who knows.
come to take a sneak peek too? Oh. Dang, I knew I was forgetting something. I don't know. I can't shake the feeling that it might, at least a little. Not the same, but like they share some kind of underlying principle. I guess you wouldn't really understand without being connected. But now it makes sense why Gramps asked me to keep an eye on this place, though. I had no idea there'd be something this cool down here. Not really sure. He just asked me to keep an eye on the building itself. And said to let him know if anything unusual happened. Whoopsie! That was supposed to be confidential. Hey, what you thinking about? Well, sorta, but it was more of a side thing. There was a more important reason, but that kinda stopped being a concern. So I guess it's just this now. Oh yeah! It's almost time for Gramps' speech, isn't it? I guess I should head back and listen to him drone on. Sweet! I'll just listen with you guys then. What are we waiting for? Let's go! Huh? Nope. Is he cutting class too? Huh, maybe. Want to try looking around, Trista? I'll come with you.
And right here is when Milliam finally put all the pieces together. So if you want to take any last second predictions, you're running out of time because we're about to hit the climax of the game. And if I were you, I'd pause the video in a little bit, finish whatever you need to do, and sit down because it's going to be going really fast. Shots will be fired, explosions, and then all of a sudden mechs come out of nowhere. And yes, the mechs are one of the things that I'm a little bit uncomfortable about with this game, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video.
The clock's about to strike noon in Heimdall, with the Chancellor set to take the stage for his national address. With the situation in Crossbell and the destruction of Gorelia Fortress still fresh in the national consciousness, the message he has today will undoubtedly shape the future of Erebonia and with it, our lives. A reporter is joining us now live from Dreikel's Plaza.
Sounds like he's about to start.
Oh, I hate this. I've got butterflies in my stomach.
This is Misty, coming to you live from Heimdall.
Why is Misty...
Oh, it's the host from Abentime.
At least that's a reassuring voice to hear at a time like this.
How?
Emma?
What's wrong?
The woman talking on the radio, she's... You all know her?
Who, Misty? Of course. She hosts the radio show Abentime every Sunday night at 9.
I've seen her out and about in Trista, too. She always looks so fashionable. Though, considering Abentime is broadcast by Radio Trista, it makes sense that's where she'd be.
Huh?
The Chancellor's standing at the podium, and it looks like he's about ready to begin. Let's hear what he has to say.
Citizens of Heimdall, fellow countrymen, Erebonians far and wide, I thank you for your attention. I am Gileath Osborne, your Chancellor and the acting representative of the Imperial Government. We stand today in the face of an uncertain future. All of you, I'm sure, are aware of what has transpired in recent weeks. Crossbell, our erstwhile province, has defiantly declared its independence, and as its parting shot, frozen the assets entrusted to them by the hard-working men and women of Erebonia. As we have moved to safeguard our national interests, armed conflicts have broken out on our borders. Our enemies point to this as an example of Erebonian aggression, but nothing could be further from the truth. We acted in accordance with our duties as a colonial power. All we have done as is our sovereign right. The Imperial hand may be firm, but it is fair. These traitors, however, have shown the world that they are neither. With an unknown weapon of mass destruction, they have annihilated Gorelia Fortress, the stronghold that has long protected the very gates of this country. I ask you, brothers and sisters of the Empire, do we allow such an odious act to go unpunished? Do we sit idle as the pride and dignity of our great nation is spat upon and trampled underfoot? We cannot, we must not, and we will not. With blood and with iron we shall mete out justice.
Listen to him go.
Well, he's quite the orator, that's for sure.
Well, he's certainly not out to upend my expectations.
Milliam? What are you doing?
Nope, can't get through. No surprise there, I guess.
What is all this about?
Oh, it's part of my mission. The most important part, actually. If only I'd caught on a little sooner. But considering he managed to outwit Claire, Lecter, and even Gramps, I suppose Crow's earned this victory.
What? What does Crow have to do with this?
Huh. So that's your angle. You came because you had a potential lead on C, and you couldn't look into it from the outside. Is that it?
What?
As in the leader of the Imperial Liberation Front?
But he's dead, isn't he?
The Intelligence Division looked at all of C's actions so far and drew up a list of potential suspects. And one possibility we couldn't dismiss was that he had ties to this academy somehow. But after C and his cronies got blown up aboard their airship in the mine, we thought it was a moot point. Looks like we spoke too soon, though. Oh, I can't believe how bad we screwed this up.
Crow was with us in the mine right up until he went with the miners to escort them back to the surface, right?
Yeah, and then his route back ended up blocked off by a cave-in, so he wasn't able to reach us until later.
But what if he actually used another route to get there ahead of us?
Then fought us wearing that masked helmet and cape.
Madness. No one would stake their entire plan on such a precarious stunt.
Perhaps we can read the evidence that way, but there are a few leaps in logic that bother me.
Besides, remember when the terrorists escaped from Gorelia Fortress? We heard C talking to us. And not just then. He was addressing us just before the airship exploded in the mine, too.
That's true, on both counts.
And Crow was with us the whole time during everything that went down in Gorelia. He never left our sight.
Right. No mistaking it.
My name is C, leader of the Imperial Liberation Front. The hammer of judgment shall fall again. I'm ready. Are you?
Yeah, there's no way he could be...
He could have recorded a message in advance and played it back.
Oh...
And the airship that exploded? It could have been controlled remotely. His alibi seems airtight. But once you account for things like that, it starts looking pretty questionable.
Yep. And if C's still alive, that means the other ringleaders probably are too.
Oh no.
He said he was headed to Drykel's Plaza, didn't he?
If a skilled sniper has their eye on you, you let your guard down for even a second and bang, you're dead. If he's the one who shot down the airship in the mine, then it's checkmate for the Chancellor. Crow's already won.
We stand at the brink of nothing less than a national crisis.
In such tumultuous times, we must set aside our differences. We must look past the ideologies that divide us. I will not deny the rift that has grown between the reformist and noble factions, especially in recent times. But how childish, how insignificant such squabbles seem when the enemy marshals its strength beyond our borders. I have met with His Majesty the Emperor, and have secured permission to embark on the course we now must. Thus, in the name of the Emperor, and as the representative of the Imperial Government, I hereby proclaim
Response to their impudence, and to form a bulwark against
Face the threat from the east.
Go finish your speech in hell.
Well played, Armbrust.
Well, that was anticlimactic. And there's our coup de grace. Now, just have to add the finishing touches.
Hands in the air!
It really was you all along. To think, all the time we spent searching for the leader of the Imperial Liberation Front, and he was right under our noses. Crow Armbrust from the Jirai SEZ.
Oh, and here I thought I'd managed to cover my tracks like a real pro. So, who put all the pieces together? I bet it was Arundel, wasn't it?
We just received confirmation a short while ago. If you hadn't been so difficult to pin down, we would have had this investigation finished up already. How could you? How could you?
You know, this really brings back the memories. It's a lot like when Jirai was annexed by the Empire 8 years ago. You let your guard down, you lose. That's how your boss's favorite little game works, isn't it? Well, he lost. And now he won't be playing any of his games again. Ever.
Get on the ground! I don't know how you managed to plan all of this, but you'll tell us eventually. I'll see to that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just witnessed a shocking turn of events. Chancellor Osborne has been shot by an unknown assailant. He's currently being rushed into urgent care. We'll bring you more on the situation as it develops. It looks like we may not be out of the woods yet, folks. A large silver craft has been sighted in the sky to the south, and it seems to be headed toward the capital. But hearing a radio broadcast just isn't the same as seeing it unfold yourselves, is it? So how about I give you Thor students a special treat? Just my way of saying thanks for the fun I had at the festival.
Wait, what's she talking about?
Was she speaking directly to us just now?
Resound, resound, O voice everlasting! Rend night's silent veil and reveal unto all the beautiful world!
Isn't that the plaza in Heimdall?
This is one of the Azure Abyss's incantations, Phantasmagoria.
What are those things?
Humanoid combat armors, courtesy of Reinford's 5th Development Division, staunch supporters of the Noble Alliance. Knights for the modern age, modeled after a stunning historical example and made of hardened steel from toe to crown. We call them the Panzer Soldats.
But how did... Don't move!
Sorry, I don't take orders from you. Zephyr should be able to secure Valflame Palace just fine on their own. But I've got my own score to settle.
No! What?
See ya, Icy Maiden.
Splendidly done, Grianos. I see you were able to share the sweetest notes of my aria with our little friends. That's quite the compliment, considering your standards on beauty. Still, first the Burl, then Crossbell, and now here in Erebonia. Don't you think you're getting a little too greedy for your own good? Yes indeed. The bells are tolling for Crossbell, and preparations here are complete. Still, even this grand an undertaking is but a jewel in a greater crown. The second stage of the Orpheus final plan. The symphony awaits us. Let the second movement commence.
Is this really happening?
It is. I'm certain of it. Phantasmagoria is an arcane art known to the Witch of the Abyss, capable of showing scenes and visions across great distances. The woman you know as Misty is something of a sister of mine.
Are you saying that's who Misty really is?
I feel like any moment I'm going to wake up in my bed to find I just dreamt all this.
If only it was. But we have no choice but to accept that it's real.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to worry about that later. Right now, we've got two more pressing concerns. The Chancellor's been shot, and Heimdall's been occupied.
Oh no! I hope my father's all right.
That gargantuan airship, those Panzer Soldats. I have no doubts that they were bankrolled and manufactured by the Noble faction.
I saw them there. My old family. All this time I never knew what happened to them. Now there they are.
So you know those men? I remember meeting them briefly in the Grail.
They're former members of Zephyr. Used to be one of the continent's strongest Jaeger Corps. It looks like the noble faction hired them to do their dirty work, just like the Imperial Liberation Front. On top of that,
It looks like our guess about C's identity was right on the money. But I don't know what that cool blue thing was he flew off in.
Crow, why did you do it?
On behalf of the Student Council, I'd like to ask all of you to remain calm. I'm sure you all experienced that strange vision during the broadcast. And the principal has an announcement he'd like to make about it.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Principal Van Dyke speaking. I'm sorry to say there's a strong likelihood that what you just saw is really happening in Heimdall. However, it's important to note that we don't yet have confirmation or any official word on the situation. I'm doing all I can to find out what's going on, but in the meantime, I ask for your patience and understanding.
So all the other classes saw it too.
For her, it is, with little difficulty at that.
Yo, Sarah here. Who's... Neidhart? An emergency meeting. Right away? What? Of course, I'll be right there. Yeah, understood. I'll meet you in front of the main gate. All right, class. I've got to step out for a bit to take care of some business. But no matter what happens, you are not to leave this building. Is that clear?
What's going on?
I'm not sure, but it's obvious something strange is happening.
Can this day even get stranger than it already is?
I hear something to the west, and it's getting closer.
Several armored cars are approaching. And it sounds like they have some of those armored suits with them.
You've got to be kidding.
First Heimdall, now Trista? Are they planning on taking over the academy? Sure looks that way. Notable members from both factions have kids enrolled here, and there are plenty of important people like the principal. So either they're looking to preemptively protect their own or take the others hostage. Could be either, even both.
This is absurd.
Whatever their intentions, we can't allow them to harm innocent people.
Do you think that's where the instructors went? To try and fight them off?
I'm with you.
You have my sword.
I didn't really wake up today planning to fight enemies that can gut a tank.
None of us did. But this battle came to us, so we'll draw the line here.
I'll do everything I can to defend this school and its students.
I take no issue with humbling those that befoul the spirit of true nobility.
Guess I'll help too.
I wonder how Lambie will match up against those giants.
We haven't got a lot of time, so let's move out.
What are you doing here?
You aren't...
You're not planning on going to help the instructors, are you?
I'd bring shame to the Arcade name if I were to willingly allow such insolence and dishonor to fester.
We're not gonna push our luck, but we want to give them every little bit of support we can.
You can't be serious.
If that video's anything to go by, you'd be going up against some seriously dangerous weapons. The chances of you overcoming a force like that is... well, I don't even want to say. Are you really sure this is what you want to do?
You guys.
Oh boy. The instructors told me not to let you past if you tried to come through here.
All right. As student council president, I hereby grant you permission to head through. But don't forget, you're still students. This may be a military academy, but that doesn't mean you're soldiers. If you ever feel like your lives are in danger, even a little bit, you get out of there, okay? Run away. Surrender. I don't care what you do, just please don't die out there. Promise me. We promise.
At least make sure you've got everything you need before you go then. I've got my tools on me, so if you guys need any last-minute modifications to your Arcus units, I'll take care of it. May Adios be with you. And just a little speculation from me, but looking at their design, you should aim for their joints. Take them apart at their weakest points and you might have a chance.
I see.
Then let's pray our aim is true.
I know I'm repeating myself at this point, but don't go doing anything crazy. You hear? Still, I know in my heart how much you want to protect this school. So do what you think you have to do. Not just for us, but so that whatever ends up happening, you'll know you gave the best you had to give.
Understood.
Oh, I'm as human as they come. Can't speak for the principal, though. Or Instructor Beatrix, for that matter.
I'll say, our decorated veterans are putting the younger generation to shame.
Now, there's no need to go around flattering old ladies, Nightheart.
no need to be so modest, Beatrix. I don't know of any other old ladies who could reduce an armored car to a smoldering wreck that quickly.
Says the man who cut one in half.
Always nice to share a little outing with my wonderful colleagues.
And while we're at it, since when were the two of you such whizzes with all those high-level arts?
Especially you, Thomas. When did you leave the library long enough to become so disturbingly proficient with an orbital staff?
Well, you know me. I've always been rather taken with the mages of the Middle Ages.
Here they come.
They've certainly brought quite a few of those.
They're boasting some impressive armor.
Looks like they've been designed with integrated arts resistance, too.
What to do?
You think we can really beat all these things?
Well, I don't see another way out of this. Do you? We need to hold this location until the Imperial Army's reinforcements arrive, no matter what.
Time to see if the Army's finest up-and-coming officer has it where it counts.
Same to you, Miss A-Rank Bracer.
My! You two really do make quite the dynamic duo.
Shut up, Thomas.
All right. Valentine and Nightheart are taking point. Let's give them some cover.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's see which bugs have that arts resistance shit.
That won't be necessary. What? Sharon? Allow me to handle things here. I'll be sure to give Lady Sarah and her colleagues the opening they need to clinch their victory. Huh?
I figured you'd show up sooner or later.
These new model engines certainly are quite the step up. I'm impressed. Still, all the power in the world doesn't mean much if you're all tied up. The pleasure of being bound, vulnerable, and exposed is a thrill like no other. Would you care for a little demonstration? I'd say you won't feel a thing, but that would be lying.
So you finally dropped the act, huh? Looks like you've even picked up a few new tricks since our little dust-up 2 years ago. But I guess I wouldn't expect any less from Sharon Kruger, Ouroboros' Enforcer number 9. Or should I just call you the Severing Chains?
from that position. Right now, I'm but a humble maid in the service of the Rhineford family. And no matter who's pulling the strings, anyone who tries to harm Lady Elisa or her friends will have to get through me first.
That's fine by me. But I think you and I need to sit down and have a nice long talk after all this is over. I'll bring the snacks.
Oh, look at them go! Are you just going to stand there and let the ladies run laps around you, Major?
Of course not. I was just about to say, we should focus our assault on one and hit it with everything we've got.
Boys will be boys.
Oh my, I feel like a mere mortal walking among titans.
Okay, I think I got these guys figured out. Gonna nullify their arch shield capabilities.
You sure know how to show a guy a good time.
You got some real fight in you. I can respect that. Still, there's only so much you can do against these soldats. Let's see how long you can hold out, shall we? You're a military academy. Let's see how much fight you've really got in you.
Trista's east exit in sight now. No hostiles visible.
I hear they've rounded up quite the posse to defend this little town. But I'm sure they've got their hands full dealing with Vulcan. Never mind that, though. We're not here for the town. C's instructions were to head straight for the academy, take all of the students captive.
Roger that, Comrade S. We've got a group of unknowns dead ahead.
My, what have we here? And here I thought Vulcan would get all the fun to himself. But you didn't let me down, did you, Class 7? You managed to turn up every single time.
Commencing operation. Our objective is to defend Trista's east exit. Aim for the one in the front and give it everything you've got.
Understood.
How cute. You seriously think you can beat a Soldot's unit, do you? It just wouldn't be sporting of us to attack at the same time, so why don't you soften them up a little first?
Roger that. With pleasure. You've interfered with our cause for far too long. It's time you got what's coming to you. Let's see how long you last against this dragon.
So right here we have the first of 3 fights against mechs.
Bring it on!
And in case you're wondering, these are the final 3 fights of the game. So I'm setting my links in position, And our first enemy is the dragon. Which, as you can see, isn't really too much of an issue. This is more along what I would have expected the Loa Erebonius to have been like.
Analyzing the enemy's vitals.
This makes a little bit more sense in terms of being like a solo boss. He doesn't have as many BS moves, but then again, he only has 60% of the health, so there is that also. Not sure if you know this, but it seems like after halfway into the game, every boss has double the health of the one before it. And since your damage isn't doubling, these fights can take a long time. Now the annoying thing here is that gouge move does inflict blind. Laura has no protection against that, and as such, she's not going to be too helpful. But in the event you can get a link attack off, just like here, and she's guaranteed to hit. And you want to be careful when doing this, because if you miss, then you risk a counterattack, and it could be painful. And one thing I should point out, none of your CP matters anymore, or your EP. You're free to use whatever you wish for this fight, because various reasons. But yeah, no need to hold back. I will be showing off Reen's new S-Break here. I'll be using that as an execute, because, like I said, we're at the end of the game. Overkill bonuses are meaningless. At this point, it's pretty much go for the throat or go home. So I was going through my list of consumables that I collected from the various jars and crates and also over the course of the game. And you can see I don't actually have a lot of items, but I have enough in the last boss fight. And it's pretty important to try to keep Laura clear-sighted for the beginning of the fight. And the reason, in case you're wondering, is she has her strength buff from her master quotes. And you want to get the most out of that, that's why I'm doing this. Once that time's out, then yeah, you don't have to care as much.
My turn! Arcus activate!
Now!
So right here I'm trying to set the damn things on fire, which, as you can see, was not quite effective. It still did a nice chunk of damage, don't get me wrong, it's just not amazing.
My turn!
And I can say one thing about this game that I really didn't take advantage of is your buffs do somewhat stack. I don't know what they cap out at, if it's double or what, but I could have moved Reen to try to motivate Laura to keep her buff up, and then it would have actually increased in magnitude up to 75%. If you can do that, I imagine some of these Reen fights will be a little bit more manageable. But the drawback, of course, is that in order to use these spells on large numbers of allies, you have to keep them somewhat clumped together, and that leaves you at risk to the enemies. It would have been nice if there was a version of the spell that had bigger range or stuff like that. There were a lot of different ways to go with it, and just another flaw in the game, I guess. So right here I'm trying to line up Resounding Beat to hit all three of them. On account of there being 3 on this side, 1 on the other, that means more attacks are going to be coming at the group of 3, and I need to make sure they were prepared.
My turn!
Right there I got to get 2 hits on with Laura, first her counterattack, then the crit vengeance. So a nice little chunk of damage, not exactly game change or anything like that, but it helps. And without her strength buff here, you can see her damage has fallen off a bit.
Here we go!
So right here I'm using Soul Core, I think that was it, which is just to fish for a feint. I've been using that core the entire game because Soul Core is one of my favorite spells, just to how fast you can cast it. Unfortunately, the cost is kind of outrageous compared to these Trails games, but it seems like they're trying to nerf magic in so many different ways this game.
Go! An opening!
Oh no, you don't!
So it doesn't really matter that Reen blocked that because he has the Dawn item that gives him status immunity. By him doing that, that actually means Laura is clear-sighted to actually continue attacking. That wasn't exactly something I had planned, but it's something I'll take nonetheless. Like I said, the reason I keep using Volcanic Ray is I'm trying to ignite it. If I can do that, that's at least 10,000 damage that I'll be taking. see the blind is now back in effect.
Thanks!
So we crossed the 5-minute threshold here, and we have knocked away more than half the enemies, so we're getting close. And fortunately here, since the blind is already applied, it really doesn't matter. That re-blocked that. The only thing you get out of that was the Vengeance hit, so additional crit, a little bit of damage. But it seems like all your Link stuff is significantly weaker than the ordinary act itself. So like a crit auto attack from Laura would deal,
My turn.
I want to say 3,000 damage, but for Vengeance it's doing something like 12 to 1,500. Stuff like that is why I can't really say I'm a fan of the Link system. I mean the Link levels. The Link system itself is kind of nice in trying to buff the physical attackers and the craft users, so I think it's really relevant. Anyway, in case you're wondering what I'm doing with Laura, since she can't land a hit with being blinded, I figured I'd have her use her turns, buffing Reen until he gets unblinded. That way, I'm guaranteed damage here.
My turn.
My turn.
Be a lot nicer if that circle were bigger, or you could actually move along the ground. I don't know if Falcon changes anything for the second game though.
Right.
Once again, I'm trying to get all three here so they stay top off. And right there, Elliot got a defense buff. Like it stacked up from 25, now it's sitting at 50. I also said I don't know the cap, if it's 100 or what.
Okay.
Now that all three are grouped up close enough together, I can use the Chrono Drive spell. In case you're wondering why I didn't use it before with Resounding Beat, you can target where Resounding Beat goes on the ground. Chrono Drive has to be cast around the character, just like all the others.
Stand down.
Soon we're approaching the 8th minute.
My turn.
You can see the thing is at about a quarter HP, I want to say.
Shatter. Now.
And we're slowly and steadily making some progress here.
Arcus activated.
I should have paid attention to see if this thing actually is just flat out immune to burn, because I don't think I ever set it on fire.
Stand down.
Now.
Reen still has Juggler equipped in case you're wondering, so there's a chance he can inflict random status effects. I don't think I've seen him actually inflict it.
My turn.
My turn.
Azure Blades, gather on my blade.
And we're done, folks. So first things first, for the next fight that's coming up, you simply cannot win. But you can win the second round, and then when you win the second, you go into the third. So I'm going to go and quiet now while this plays out, and I'm not going to be jumping into the second fight until we're at round 2.
We did it!
So see you there.
Looks like George was right about aiming for the joints.
I should have expected that C's classmates wouldn't go down easy.
I recognize that grating voice.
Scarlet? You're in there, aren't you?
Oh, did you miss me? I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to play mine. But I hope you haven't forgotten that I owe you for getting in my way at Gorelia Fortress. You managed to be one Soldat, but once is just luck. Let's see how you fare against a Spiegel.
That one's not like the others. It must be a command unit.
So it has weapons the regular suits don't?
Oh, believe me, you'll find out. Sadly, I doubt you'll survive the demonstration. But at least try to put up some token resistance.
Here they come! Be careful, everyone!
Right! Shatter!
Yeah!
stabilizing the enemy's vitals. All complete.
Go!
How about this?
My turn!
Go!
Of course. Huh? Okay.
My turn! Give it up, everyone!
Here we go!
Yeah. Arcus, activate. Of course. Huh? Now.
Here we go!
I'm sorry, everyone.
No way!
It reflected all our attacks.
That's cheating!
And this, children, is what we call reactive armor. Think of it as a protective field that the pilot can activate at will. They originally designed it to defend against tank assaults, but as you can see, that's not its only use.
The 5th Division really outdid itself this time. Reen?
Hey, what are you...
You're not. It's the same as when he fought the Viscount.
No, don't!
Don't do it, Reen!
So this must be that power of yours that C mentioned. I wonder if it'll really give you the strength to take down this Spiegel.
Reen, stop!
You don't have to do this!
Dost thou desire the power?
What?
If thee and I are of one accord, a covenant can be made. Thou hast but to call out my name. One in whom dwells the flame, Awakener.
This voice.
It looks like all the conditions have finally been met.
Celine, you can talk?
Yes, quite eloquently too. But that's not important right now. Right now, you need to stay focused. You should know his name already. You saw it deep within the realm of the Great Shadow.
Heed my call.
Valimar, the Ashen Knight!
What's happening to him? He just stopped moving.
Celine, what's going on?
Shh, let him concentrate.
What? Did Celine just...
The cat is talking!
What's he doing with that fancy light show? Well, whatever. It's not going to save their skins this time. Playtime's over, brats. Unless you have a death wish, I suggest you get the hell out of here. What was that? Is the provincial army bombarding the town? Wait! No! Shit! Is that what C was talking about?
What the? Here it comes. Reen, how did you... Is this one of the great knights from the ancient legends?
So the tales are true.
You see before you one of the divine knights, incarnations of the great power, the Ashen Knight, Valimar.
Oh, damn it! This wasn't in the plans. It shouldn't have been able to move yet.
How am I even doing this? It's like my body just knows.
The moment you accepted the Awakener's Covenant, all the fundamental knowledge was granted to you. But you've got a more pressing issue to deal with right now. And this Divine Knight doesn't have a weapon yet either.
You're mine!
It evaded that attack like a trained duelist.
Like Greenwood.
Alright, I think I figured out the basics.
Reen!
Is he inside that thing making it move?
That's awesome!
I recognize that stance. The 8 leaves 1 blade style's unarmed form.
You're just full of surprises, aren't you?
Huh. Looks like you might be able to handle this after all.
The 8 Leaves 1 Blade School has a form we use if we're disarmed or have to fight without a weapon. And believe me, Master Ka-Fi drilled it into me so thoroughly I could do it in my sleep.
Sounds like you owe him a thank you next time you see him. Watch out! Here she comes!
Let's see what we can do!
Don't leave me unsatisfied now.
So here's where stuff starts getting weird. We now have control of the Divine Knight. You get to target 3 areas here by attacking the correct area when the enemy is in a specific stance. You get a critical attack, I want to say, and then you also get to do a follow-up. So you want to hit it, and it's consistent. So right here, it's not the head that's weak here. I now have that one eliminated. I have to try the arm or the leg. But it has changed stances, so that means the head is now a target that I may want to hit to see if I can figure out how to stagger this thing. Unfortunately, while you're barehanded, you can only use those 2 moves. You can see a guard means the wrong answer. You chose one. That's one you didn't. So right here we have yet another stance. Now I did damage, but I didn't knock it down, so that's a substitute, but it's not what I'm looking for. Body shot, you can see I hit, but still not what I'm looking for. In this stance, you want to hit him in the arm. So right there, we got to do the follow-up.
Hope you like pain.
And this fight is pretty easy. It's the one that comes after this that may mess with you a bit. If you're not familiar with the moves, you may have trouble. Right here is when the game starts to really get a Xenosaga vibe for me. To make things worse, we're fighting in an unarmed mech, so I'm thinking of Veltal from Xenogears. Then when you realize Reen transforms just like Faye does into id, there's starting to become some uncomfortable parables rising.
Hope you like pain.
So you kind of have to wonder if the Ashen Knight here can go into an id mode and then ultimately Xenogears. So right there, a nice chunk of damage, but that's not what we're looking for. I'm going to use Shinbong once again in order to keep the buffs alive as well as stack them. So instead of losing my 25% buff at the next turn, I gained a 50% buff for 3 turns. And hopefully you can see how damaging some of these moves can get, because I just did 34,000 damage that turn. But I definitely have to wonder what direction the game is planning to go from here. Are the mechs going to become much more dominant? Because, like, if you've played Xenosaga Episode III, you've probably seen the king of RPG mech battles. And this has massive shoes to fill if it wants to even try to compete. Anyway, I'm going to go quiet while the scene plays out, and I'll be jumping in for the next fight.
I'd be the one still standing.
This battle is over. There's no reason to keep fighting. Now get out of Trista, and take the squad by the west exit with you.
Reen.
Yeah! Beat it and don't come back!
All right. This should be all the backup they need at the west exit, and then some.
Damn.
Whoa, whoa, hold up just a sec. Aren't you forgetting something?
That voice.
Something's coming.
Whoa.
A blue knight?
Then Valimar wasn't the only Divine Knight that was awoken.
See? Am I ever glad to see you?
The Azure Knight? So he was an Awakener all along. I'll bet she's the one who guided him to it too.
Crow. Crow! Are you really in there?
Sure am. Long time no see, Reen. Oh well, not too long, I guess, seeing as we just had dinner together last night. But that all feels strangely distant now, you know? Another lifetime almost.
Why? Why are you doing this? Are you really the one who shot the Chancellor? And where did you even get that thing?
It's thanks to the Imperial Liberation Front's planning that I wound up at the Academy in the first place. It was a nice spot to bide my time while we waited for our chance to take out the Chancellor. Gotta say, though, the whole school thing was a lot more fun than I expected. Almost makes me sad to leave it behind. But at the end of the day, I'm C. That's the real deal. The crow armbrust you've known all this time, he isn't real. He never was.
Like hell he isn't! All the good times we had? Your friendship with Toa and Angelica and George? Do you seriously want me to believe that all of that was just a lie? That our hanging out, our field studies, even our concert meant nothing to you?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Oh no.
Crow, why are you doing this?
Reinford made that for the Soldats units. I know it's not the kind you're used to, but it's the best you're gonna get right now. So, what do you say we settle things once and for all?
A double saber, just like C used.
Then there's no room left for doubt. Crow really is C.
I take no joy in this. But we can't have that Ashen Knight of yours getting in the way later down the line. So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to bust it up, along with the Academy. As for you students and the staff, you'll be under our jurisdiction.
So that's the plan if you win, huh? But what about if I win?
If you win, I'll pay up the interest I owe you on that 50 Mira. Hell, we could even trade places. I'll babble on about friendship and dreams, and you can have fun for once in your life.
You've got yourself a deal. But I hope you know what you just signed up for. Because the Bank of Reen has the highest interest rate on the continent. If we'll be trading places, don't forget you'll have a mountain of work waiting for you back at the Academy. So one way or another, you'll be coming back with us, Crow!
You've got some real stones. I'll give you that. But sure, I'll agree to those terms.
This is bad.
Their will to fight is causing an enormous outpouring of mana.
Alright, let's
Ashen versus Azure. So they will tell you right here that you want to unbalance. The game will record which part you want to target it once you actually know. And right here they tell you about Morning Moon. I go ahead and try this, but from what I understand it's just a waste of CP. Costs 90. You're much better off just sticking to Chin Gong or even trying one of the sword moves. Unfortunately, due to how close this fight gets, I can't actually try out the sword moves since I wasted stuff on Morning Moon. When this stands you on the body, in case you're wondering, I'm doing this fight over since I know what weak spot is where. If you don't know, then you probably could lose this fight just due to lack of information. As you see, Crow can hit you for a link attack just like you can him. And unfortunately, there is one spot where I do get careless and I don't hit the weak spot. At that point, I think I have it in my pocket, so no loss. In case you're wondering, my CP didn't carry over from the previous fight, so I'm trying to build up as much as I can before I start buffing the Chin Gong. That's what it's called. So he hit me for 6,000. I'm not sure I use this twice, maybe I want 50% that much more. But it's nice that it gives you both attack and speed, so you can more turns off. The drawback of speed, of course, is just that your buffs wear off that much more quickly. You can't have everything you want.
Now! My sword will lead the way!
this move when you have your buffs up, because if you look, that did almost 50,000 damage.
Not bad.
I think that was a quarter of his health in just that one hit. Yeah, he has 200,000.
Now, here goes!
How's this? Think you can handle this?
So if you notice, my buffs are going to run out at the end of this turn, so I want to use Qingong to refresh them, as well as keep them stacked up. And I believe this is the first time I actually saw him do this move, so I wasn't actually sure what he was looking for. I took a stab at the head, and was corrected.
Eat this! That's it! You're finished!
And if you look, you can see pretty close here.
Hope you're ready.
But you do have a healing move at your disposal since you don't have any items. As I was saying before, I don't know if any of your equipment on green actually has any sort of impact on this fight.
Darkness!
I can see arguments for either way, but all things considered, I think they probably want us to be independent of green.
You're finished! So, what you gonna do?
And I make the poor choice of dropping my buff, I think. No, just Qingong. And right here I have him on the ropes pretty much. I just wanted to play it safe and use the healing move one more time.
Think you can handle this?
And you don't have an S-craft or anything to fall back on, so you have to bring it down with your bare hands. Right there I tried the counter move, and it failed miserably.
Hope you're ready! Darkness! Clean! Gotcha!
There's our counterattack.
Here goes! What you gonna do? You're wasting your time.
And here's where things start to get a tad dicey.
You're wasting your
See in
time.
this stands his arms.
Think you can handle this?
And with this, we are done.
My sword will lead the way.
So once you see this scene, you're pretty much done with the game. There's going to be a few more scenes before we have our cliffhanger leading into Cold Steel 2. So hold on for just a little bit longer.
Yahoo! He did it!
Thank goodness. That means...
This can't be happening!
You really don't do anything halfway, do you? I thought I knew what you could do with your 8 Leaves training, but you're fighting on a whole nother level today.
Good thing, too. Otherwise, I'd never have stood a chance against you. Time to make good on our wager, Crow. You're coming back with us.
What in the... You've been piloting a Divine Knight for 1 day. I've been using mine for 3 years. Did you think I wouldn't have a trump card to play?
Damn it! It's like I didn't even phase him. My head!
When a Divine Knight is damaged, the Awakener shares their pain. Just as I feared, it was too early. Or perhaps it may have been too late.
No, you don't!
Reen!
doing?
We are going to buy you time to get away from here.
Run, while you still have the chance.
I can't. I won't just leave you all here.
You can, and you must! Heimdall's been occupied, and it's only a matter of time before we've got a full-blown civil war in our hands.
They might have been caught off guard today, but the Imperial Army's full of elite soldiers. When the war starts, it'll be long and bloody.
But it doesn't have to be like that. You and the Ashen Knight could change things. You could find a third way, like Prince Oliver was talking about. A way that doesn't bow to either faction.
You can become the wind that changes the course of this conflict.
You guys, No, I can't! You'll never make it against him by yourselves! Just run, please!
Just look at yourself. You're in no position to be worrying about us.
Yeah! Just leave it to us!
Once you've escaped, we'll go join the instructors. So don't worry. Take care of him for us. Okay, Celine?
Easier said than done.
Prolonging current battle poses the risk of sustaining irreparable damage. Immediate tactical retreat is advised.
That voice! Are you Valimar?
So you've gathered enough power, have you? Well, we may have lost this battle, but at least we'll live to fight another day. All right, get us out of here. As far away in Erebonia as you can take us.
Command acknowledged. Charting course.
Wait, no! That's my call to make!
I'm sorry, Reen. I wanted to tell you everything, but it looks like I won't have the chance after all. But you accepted me, in spite of it all. It made me happier than you realize. I've watched you all this time, and this I can say for certain. You can get through this. I know you can.
Emma! They need me! Let me stay!
So once you beat the boss, you are now allowed to see this screen. This is where you can save your file that's going to be loaded into Cold Steel 2, or you could create your file that's going to be used for a New Game Plus. It's entirely up to you. As for me, I'm pretty much done here, so unless there's something that comes up that I need to tackle, I'm done. So I'm going to create the file. You'll see the opening. Unfortunately, I don't show the New Game Plus screen. You're given 5 points for beating the game the first time, and you have to spend those points to decide what you want to carry over and what you want to leave behind. I'm not entirely a fan of this system. I prefer much more something along the lines of the Devil Survivor system, where doing different things give you certain amounts of points, and you can plan out accordingly what you want carried over, which means you have to do certain things, and so on. Here it's just a flat 5, no matter what you do. Beat the game again, you get a flat 10. I think you have to beat the game a third time for 20 points. So I would have liked to show the screen, but I kind of forgot. Anyway, right here we're going to be talking about my thoughts about the game. So the mechs definitely threw me for a loop. It's just a massive change in tone of the game. The battle system can pose new sorts of problems on what's balanced, what isn't. Just by having information, the tide of battle changes much, much more significantly. And then if other people on the team are going to start having those, it can get very complicated very, very quickly. And then there's the whole matter of how you're going to upgrade your mech. Do you have to buy parts like you have to in Xenogears? Do you have to level it up like you have to do in Xenosaga 2? There's all sorts of ways. And as tight as Mira was, we can't really afford to do too much. So on that aspect, I'm a little bit concerned about the future of the series. But as for the game itself, I like a lot of the changes they made to the combat system, new things in the turn list. They got rid of the strength up, but they replaced it with the zero arts, which is pretty cool. It helps make the casters a little bit better since they are getting the short end of the stick as of the orbment changes. So, for the orbments, I explained this once before, but you have to choose between stats and spells, and sometimes you can get a combination of the two, sometimes you can't, and it's just depending on what quartz the devs decide to make. That changes how viable certain characters are in large, large amounts. So all things considered, Eustace is probably like the worst character in the game. The one thing he has going for him is just his buff craft. He doesn't really have the stats to shine out for anything, and there's not like the option of giving him a special quartz arrangement on his orbment to make him more viable like they did for Olivier and Chloe and a couple others in Sky. I'm just not a fan of that system. It also didn't help that the cost of all the spells were jacked up so damn much. Some of them were 3 times as high as they cost in Sky. The items themselves weren't too helpful. It'd be kind of nice if there were more guys who'd give you the charge thing if you partnered with a caster. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the magic thing, and then when you deal with enemies who can either sever the links and actually leave them severed, or just flat out devour a character so they can't contribute, these are actually exploiting the new link system for the worse. So I'm kind of hoping those are very few and far between, if not completely non-existent in Cold Steel 2 and 3. But otherwise, as for the storyline, it was much more anime-derived, I'd say. How they had the male lead that all the girls fall for, and it's kind of lame in that aspect. It fell into a lot of the school tropes as we went. The transfer students showing up. Like, Sarah was kind of nice. She put a bit of a twist on things, but she alone can't carry that. And it was a bit weird seeing a member of Ouroboros working as a maid, I guess. I don't know if that's actually Sharon's first game or not. It could be. I don't know if she was in Blue or Zero to know if people are supposed to recognize her, but there she is. She's one of the enforcers, that's what it is. She's not an Anguisse, that's Weissman and Vita. Like, another thing worth talking about, I guess, could be the game's pacing. Due to how it's already arranged in chapters, it's already going to be somewhat episodic. It's just, the chapters were very, very repetitive. You had some sort of class, then you had a practical exam, then you went off on your field study, rinse, repeat until we arrive at part 2. Since school isn't around anymore, they're going to find some way to mix that up. Anyway, I could go into the characterization, but it seems like the consensus is that Elisa isn't really that good. I've yet to see one person actually speak in her defense. Maybe that'll be addressed in the future games, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, I think I've probably droned on long enough. I'm still interested in continuing the series, it's just there were quite a few mistakes here, and I'm kind of hoping some of them will be addressed. Preferably stuff involving the magic system, maybe some of the master quartz. But otherwise we're done for now. So, this is the first PS3 game that was put on the channel. I am able to record games on systems that have HDMI ports, so if there are any other ones that come up that you may be interested in, you can bring it up on the channel, just in case I'm not aware, since I normally follow PC exclusively, and I might be able to cover it. But as for my schedule, the next game that's going to be covered is Resident Evil 0. I don't know what's going to be covering the second half of January, but the start of February, and I'll be playing by ear from there. Unfortunately, what's it called? Celestial Terror Demon's Revenge is on hold until it's upgraded. Once it finally does get upgraded, then I'll come back, but the save date is going to be lost anyway, so that's why I'm not going to waste any more time investing in it. I'm just going to wait for the final thing to come out, do one big playthrough, and then hopefully the save data carries over. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.